Good morning. Time to make the coffee. Today's flavor is chocolate raspberry, and it's going to be 35 degrees here today. There's a little dusting of snow on the ground, and it's going to be in the 20s for the next few nights. So this is going to really be testing my winter sewing to see what's what with that. My sourdough starter is getting bubbly since I added the raisins, so we'll see how that works out. And I still want to make that sourdough cast-off bread in the bread machine, but I'm not going to make that until I finish up my Walmart bread. So anyway, I got my laundry done yesterday. Today I must plant the rest of those seedlings. I don't feel like it, but I have to do it, otherwise it was an experiment for nothing, which, well, that's okay. Sometimes experiments are just experiments. But I do want to get those planted, and I'm going to stick those outside. This year I don't want too many indoor seedlings because I don't want to end up with fungus gnats. It's very unpleasant. It's enough that I have to battle the ants. I've tried taro, I've tried other ant traps. I've even done a DIY with the borax and the sugar, and they just walk past all of that and they laugh at me. I know they're laughing. So I have to get outside, and I think I know where their nest might be. So I have to go out there and put some home defense or something. But I've been using Fabuloso and spraying them with that, and boy, I'll tell you, that's a great ant killer, because they're like gone. They're dead right away. So, but they keep coming back. So I don't know. I think my house is built on an anthill. I saw a show once where people had so many ants they had to move out of their house. It was so disgusting. So of course that's what's in the back of my head when I think about the ants. I mean, they don't really hurt anything, but they don't belong in the house. You know, I don't like to kill anything, but they need to stay outside. I can't run them all outside every time I find one. So anyway, let me give my coffee a taste. Cheers. Delicious. So it's another stay in the house day today. It's too cold. I don't feel like going out. I do wish it would warm up. I could use a little fresh air, but even walking in this, it's too cold. I hate the cold. I really don't like the cold weather at all. I know a lot of people like the winter, but not me. I could hibernate and be very happy. So, all right, I'm going to take a look at my budget book, take a look at my starter and feed that, and then get on with my day. Well, how is my no spend going? Well, I think it's going pretty good, because yesterday I didn't spend any money. Another green check mark. So far this month, in 10 days, I have a week of no spend and 3 days where I spent some money, which was kind of a low spend. It was for groceries and garden things, and I can always spend a lot on garden things, but I'm trying to rein it in this year, do a lot of DIY stuff, and we'll see how that works out. See if my garden flourishes or if it's a bust. The winter sowing, it's a cheap way to get some plants if it works. So I'm in zone 6, and we don't have a real long growing season here, so I'm trying to get ahead of it. We'll see. We'll see how it happens. I'm not trying to grow so much food that I have to can it, and you know, just enough to eat all summer long, and then through the winter maybe do some freezing. But not that I couldn't do some canning, but it's really not my thing. It's just another thing that I would have to do, and I'm trying to cut back on the things that I have to do. So taking care of food isn't something that I really want to do constantly. So there we go. That's how I'm doing on my low-no spend. How are you guys doing if you're on a no-low spend? And how are you guys doing a garden this year if you're gardening? What's your favorite hobby? Let me know in the comments below. All right, let's take a look at the starter. And it's starting to become active finally. It's got bubbles going on, and it rose a little bit, not too much, but a little bit. So at least the raisins have helped. So I'm going to feed this a couple more teaspoons of flour. And then I have some warm water here. I'm going to start out with 1 teaspoon and see if it needs a little more. And the raisins are helping feed this too, the sugar in the raisins. So I'm going to have to discard some of this pretty soon, but not yet. I want it to become more active. This has been a real project, getting this sourdough starter to get going. But the raisins seem to be working, so that's good. I don't think it needs more water than that. So okay, there's the sourdough starter, and this is probably around day 10, I'm guessing. I quit counting the days. Okay, this morning I'm planting some of my tomatoes that I started on 3-5. It's 3-11 today. And one thing that I learned was to plant the seedlings right when they germinate, not to really wait until they get the leaves, because what happens is the little roots get too big and they get stuck in the paper towel, and if you damage the roots transplanting them, they're toast. So I don't know how the zinnias are going to do. I already planted those. I just sprinkled the sprouted seeds on the soil and wet soil, and then covered the seedlings with soil. So, I mean, it worked for the pak choi and it worked for the broccoli. I don't know how well it's going to work with the zinnias because I think I let them go too long. So I'm keeping an eye on the tomatoes now, and I didn't plant a whole lot. Like, I tried to only plant or start 5 of each. So I'm looking through those now, and then I'm using the double cup method for the tomatoes, with holes in the bottom of one and no holes in the bottom of the other. And these will be going in front of a bright window. I'm not going to winter sow these. I'm hoping to get a couple of viable tomatoes from maybe the 5 of each that I plant, because I don't want to be inundated with tomatoes again this year. So it's time to get these planted. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm trying to get this stuff cleaned up. Okay, I don't know if you can see this, but even these are a little bit too long because they start to tangle. And I just started these on, I didn't really say, but I started these a couple days after the other ones. And this is a mystery tomato. For some reason I wanted to save it and I didn't write down what kind it was. So it could have been a store-bought tomato, but it was probably something special and that's why I saved it. So I'm going to go ahead and plant those. And then these super sweet. So I don't know if that one's a determinate or indeterminate. I'll have to wait and see. The super sweet is an indeterminate. But the little roots on these are much shorter. So you want to plant them when they get to be about that length. And the ones in the middle are coated seeds. I'm just going to go ahead and plant those too. So planting tomatoes today, I probably won't have more than a dozen cups with maybe 4 or 5 tomatoes in each, and we'll see how they do. I'm going to put them in front of a southwest facing window, and I do have grow lights there too that I'll use. So I'm hoping this soil isn't infected with fungus gnats because it's soil, it's not potting, seed potting mix. So, all right, there's my project for today, getting rid of all this garden stuff, putting it back in the garage, and hopefully it'll turn into something wonderful. Okay, well, I'm taking a tea break. Cheers. This is the Dollar Tree apple cranberry, I think. And I haven't been able to find it at the Dollar Tree, and I really like it. So I don't know if they're in the process of repackaging or if they just got too expensive for Dollar Tree to carry. I have no idea. So I have a few left that I'm going to finish up. And I put some cinnamon Torani syrup in there, and it's very tasty. So I was hoping to get this planting mess back in the garage, but I've been planting all morning, used up a big bag of potting soil, and it turned out that quite a few of my peppers have already sprouted, and I wanted to get those into the pots before the roots got too long, so I ended up planting tomatoes and peppers and cosmos and calendula. Oh, a bunch of flowers, but I think I let the flowers go too long. And if that's the case, I'll see if any of them sprout. I planted a lot of them, so some of them may still come up. But the little roots were pretty long on some of them, and some I even just cut up with the paper towel and just stuck those in the pot. We'll see. I think it takes 3 to 4 weeks for the paper towel to break down, so by the time they go outside, the paper towel might be, already deteriorated. So anyway, I got that done, but I'm not finished yet because I'm still waiting for like 3 or 4 tomatoes to sprout, and I still have some peppers that need to sprout and some pimentos. So I think I can already put the seeds back in the garage, but I'm going to have to keep the dirt here for a while yet. So we'll see. I mean, keeps me busy and out of trouble, but I wouldn't get in trouble anyway. I want to be done. So I figure, I'll be another few days before I can get it all done, because I have to go out in the garage and get some more pots because I used up the ones that I had brought in. So gardening is hard work. And usually when I have a project, I don't sit down and do it, which I should do, but I work better standing up. And then my back starts to bother me, my neck starts to bother me, and I don't want to whine about it, but I know a lot of us have similar issues. So I guess I just have to learn to do things sitting down rather than standing in one place, and because that's not good for your back. So anyway, I had pizza for breakfast this morning, and it was good, but it was a little heavy. So for dinner tonight, I think I'm just going to have a baked potato, some salad. I have salad I want to use up, some romaine. I'm trying to use up what I have in my refrigerator. And then I had bought some fishless fillets when I did my beginning of the month shopping. And I think I'm just going to have one of those with some homemade tartar sauce. So that sounds good, and it's quick, because I know right now I don't feel like cooking. So anyway, the sourdough starter is finally coming along, so that's a good thing. And I figure once it warms up and the house gets warmer, it'll take off. It'll be more than ready to go. Now, I had made sourdough starter a couple years ago, and I have a video on that somewhere in the playlists. And I had made it with kombucha, and it really, really made good sourdough bread, but I let it go too long. And the only thing I didn't like about it, the flavor was delicious, but it always would form like a flour SCOBY on top, which I didn't like. So that's why this time I'm making it with flour and water. So okay, all my experiments are done for the day. I'm going to go relax a little bit. It's my 3 o'clock relax time now. I did some stuff, and that's it. Alright, my friends, that's all I have for you today. I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself, be good to others. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. Thanks for watching.